Okay, we're gonna get started. Oh, thanks. I finally put makeup on. That's really the only difference, and straighten my hair. It's been fun, but I'm feeling better. My pregnancy is a lot better. Feeling amazing. I'm super excited. So we're gonna dive in because I have an appointment right after this, and we have a lot of work to do. So make sure you have notebooks. Make sure you're ready to be interactive because we're going to. I'm gonna actually shut off my Facebook, or it's going to keep notifying, but we have lots to go over, and we're going to go in depth and just help each and every one of you. If you're watching the replay and you have any questions, you can send this to me and I'll help review it with you so you don't feel behind or left out, but we're going to just really dive in and help. I have been watching the way when I ask people, okay, what do you do? Who is it that you serve? All these things. It's really super vague answers, and so I really wanted to dive in and help you guys for 2020 to almost have a new vibe to yourself, a new vibe to your title, to your slogan, to everything that you're wanting to attract, so it's just not so basic, because I'm seeing a lot of basic going around again, and I am just like, nope, we're gonna dive into this. So it's gonna be lots of work, lots of journaling today, but I think you guys are gonna have a lot of breakthroughs because I've been doing this the last 2 weeks, and it's really opened up even more of how I explain what I do. Even if you don't know to a T, it's really good to be very specific and very simple in the way that you explain what you think you do right now, knowing that you can always change it. Let's be honest. Like, I feel like I change my title quite often because nothing has fully ever felt like it sticks quite yet. And then once it sticks, it will just stick. So we're going to dive in. Let me pull up my notes real fast and we will get started. I do want to kind of review 2020 real fast just because, and we're not going to go super in depth here, but we are going to dive into your business and ask some questions so that you know kind of your plan. And this is going to be different than any of the kind of the audits that you do where you're auditing your sales, you're auditing your marketing, all those things that like some of you have in that audit that I created. It's not going to be like that. That's different. We're just focusing on intention. What's your intention? How did you feel this year? How did things go? And so I just have kind of 2 categories with 3 different questions that I'm going to ask you, and I want you to take a minute to write those down. If you have time to type them over on the side, I would love to see those too. Or if you want to discuss them, that would be super awesome too. But I'm going to ask you first. So what did you do really, really well in your business this year? As you're diving in deep and you're thinking about anytime I take a class or anytime I really do something, I always ask myself, what did I do really, really well this year? So just write that down on a piece of paper. And this is just for business. What did you do well in business this year? And then we'll move to the next question. And like I said, if you guys have time to type it out on the side, go for it. I'd love to see your answers. If not, no biggie. The next question I want to ask you is, what did you suck at? Like, what did you, if you don't like the word suck, what could you have improved this year, specifically with business? Business specifically. So for example, I feel like this year I did really well at simplifying, following my intuition, really just following my heart, following my gut, following how I want a simple business, still able to make money, but I don't have to be crazing. I have recorded and uploaded 2 videos, which, ooh, I love that. Yes. Which it leads me to the thing I've kind of sucked at this year, which is organization. I haven't really done very good at organizing my videos, my posts like I usually do, any of my testimonials. I've done really bad at the organization of stuff because I've leaned more to the intuition side. I kind of didn't do a lot of the logical side. So taxes will be fun this year. I sucked at Sticking my head in the sand for 9 out of 12 months. I blame baby. I love it. That's awesome. It's a good one. It's a good thing to blame when it's your last baby though. So you just you get to appreciate, but it's good to recognize. It's good to recognize, okay, when big things happen in my life, how do I set my business up so it can still run and I'm not just taking a break and disappearing for 9 to 12 months. So really good things to look at. The next question within that category, within your business, what actions will be a priority for you to change this year? Like no ifs, ands, or buts, this is what I'm doing. Community building, course, investing in growth, outside the box thinking. I love that. You did a lot of outside of your comfort zone too. I need to store on my website so people can just click and buy. I love that. Love it, yes. Automate the buying process. That's probably the first thing you should always automate. That's awesome. Okay, so the next category we're gonna go into is your personal life. Same thing. What did you do really well in your personal life? Things I did well, got clear, got started. Yes, I love it. I love the word invested more intentionally. That should be a live video. Focus on one to do things. Yep. Birth a human without any meds. Yes, that's the most amazing accomplishment ever. It's just a feeling you cannot even explain. I love that. Okay, then I want you to ask yourself, what did you suck at in your personal life? What did you suck at? Yes, you did, Kristen. I love it. What did you suck at? Yes. Hormonal jerk. I feel like I've been like that for a while too. So I'm snapping out of it though. I feel really good, you guys. It's awesome. Let's see, sometimes there's a theme to 2019. Absolutely. 2018 was a rough one for me, probably one of my hardest years. And 2019 was emotionally, I felt better, but it was almost more chaos because it was like this detoxing year, and detoxing is never, ever, ever fun. So I think 2020 is going to be awesome. Do my time better. I love that. Okay, so then ask yourself, what actions will be priority to change in your personal life? So for me, for sure, my health. For sure, my health. This is my first year in probably 5 years that I've really let my health like slip up. So health for sure is going to be mine. Need to watch less junk and read more. Yes, it is true. This is the first year too. I actually brought TV back into my life and watched a few series. But it's the funny thing is when you hibernate and you're not actually working towards your goals, because I was like, I'm taking time off. I'm just going to let myself like deal with this pregnancy at the beginning. So what do? You go back to old habits. I don't know how many seasons of Jersey Shore I watched, or you know what I mean? You go back to your old stuff, which means you get your old results. And so it's good to keep that in mind. Okay, now we're going to dive in. It's just good to keep that in mind, but we're going to really dive into 2020, what you want it to represent, what you want it to be, and what that looks like. Being proactive instead of reactive. Jersey Shore, haha, don't laugh at me. I love it. I'm so mad. We actually just re-switched to getting rid of cable, but we have streaming TV, but you can't watch any of the on-demand stuff, so I didn't even get to finish my seasons of Jersey Shore that I was on, so, or Teen Mom. So I had to just let it go and let it be, and now we just watch Disney Plus and Netflix again, which is good. I don't know why we ever brought TV back into our life. So anyways, that's a rant. So what I want you to do is I want you to write down 10 words that you want to represent you this year. So not your, it doesn't have to be your business. It can be your business, but what's 10 words? So like for me, I put real and raw, personable, vulnerable, bold, sexy, just 10 words that you want people to feel from you. And you don't have to type all these ones in. I mean, you could post your favorite, but you don't have to. Better picture of you guys. Okay, then if you kind of get stuck, that's okay. You can come back and finish all these. We just have a lot to go over. Consistent, approachable, valuable, bold, kind, strong, creative, giving. I love that. I love that. And as you think about this, because your business is not you, but a lot of times your business has your personality within it. And so what I do is I pick a word for every single year. And I haven't picked what word I'm going to have for next year. This year was simplify. Last year before that was bold. This year, I'm not really sure what I'm going to pick, but maybe find the one that stands the most out to you, and I hang it on my wall all year long. It's kind of like at my church, actually. They have a theme every year, and they have a big banner that just says, like, this year, I think it's joy or something like that. And so it's like literally creating that word around you all the time. Consistency. I love that. So make sure that you put that. Yeah, right. It is. It's an awesome place. But it's like, so make sure you're putting that on your wall so you see it. So they're like, I literally seen all of my words every single year, so I can tell you what every word was, because I'm focused on it all the time. And you actually become those things. You become powerful. You become intentional. And that's what you want in your business. So I was actually really afraid to pick the word bold, because I was like, I don't want to come off as mean. And I did have times within that year where I came off as very tough love. And some people did not like it, but that's actually where I gained my tough love, which is what people actually love about me now. But a lot of my old followers didn't love that. I don't know how many times, like one time I accidentally messed up, and I'm in the wrong here, and I accidentally said on stage, like, I just don't want to Jew you guys out of anything. Well, there was a Jew in the audience, and instead of just knowing my heart and my intention, she got very, very offensive, which I was really, really glad that she spoke up. She said something, but it can cause repercussions too, because there's always light and dark to every single personality, to every single word, to everything that you do. And so you have to understand that you are going to become that, and sometimes it has to be more of a bold word, or more of a aggressive word, I guess you can say, to help you become more of what you want to be, and kind of living in those characters that you want to live in. And so the next thing that we're going to go into, and as we go through all of this, I literally want you to think of, like, anytime you're redoing your vision, your mission statement, all those stuff, and we're not going to go too much into all of that, but always remember that a 6-year-old needs to remember it. They have to, or not remember it, they have to understand it. Even this year, I got a little out of control, because I was like, NLP sells and buyer and seller psychology and all this stuff, and I'm like, people don't know what that is. You have to make sure that people understand it at all levels. And this is what I've been working a lot with, even with Micah. I don't think she's on today, but people don't know what the Enneagram is. They don't understand that stuff. So you have to speak in their language. And this is the part that I actually hate the very most. And I fought it for a very long time, but I was wrong, because I was like, I hate this, that everybody sounds the same, or everybody, like, I hate that. But you have to almost be very, very vague and very, very simple. And then as you go deeper, then you can explain the deeper psychologies, the deeper lessons, the deeper things like that. And so I just love giving lots of content. Now, you don't have to dumbify yourself, because you just have to attract the right audience for where you're wanting to speak. but you still have to work your way into that. And so we're going to kind of get into your title now, because this is a thing that I know a lot of you struggle with, and it's just not very unique, or else it's the opposite. It's very, very complicated. And so what I want you to do is I want you to make a list of 5 things that you want to be called this year. Like, what is your title? So for me, you know, I love like money energy goddess, or I love, you know, like I'd have to go get my list. Actually, I thought I wrote them down, but where are they? They must have been on a different thing, on my own paper I was doing this on. But I want you to make a list of different things, and it can be, honestly, it can be similar. You can just kind of keep adding to it if you want. Like, I actually did 20, but I knew that it would take a long time to get through 20, so I'm just having you guys do 5, but you can go back and redo this. And I started with money energy goddess. I'm like, okay, what else could I call myself? Okay, money energy expert. And then I got into, it was really cool, money energy expert and spiritual cells coach. I'm loving the spiritual cells coach side of things, because this year I'm really wanting to bring more of the energetics back into my business and the manifestations, things like that, and kind of still do the logical stuff with my higher top clients, but it's not really what I want to be bringing people in with. I thought I had to bring people in with that stuff to sound smarter, so I attract a higher level people. But when in all reality, the time that I was attracting like more of my higher end celebrity clients was when I actually was just money energy, finance your destiny, the stuff that seems so simple to me, but it's the things that actually were attracting the people I wanted, because I was living in alignment. Parenting mentor, problem solver, idea, discipline, some word I can't figure out. I've strongly resisted coach, but I don't know. And it's okay to resist coach. I resisted coach for a really, really long time. And I think because I didn't resonate with it. I finally resonated with it when I thought about it. I'm like, mentors bring you to where they're at, and coaches push you to where you want to go. And so I kind of have started using more of the coach word, because I'm also more of that tough love. But it doesn't even have to be mentor or coach. It literally could be parenting guru. It could be, you know what I mean, a parenting problem solver. It could be, you know what I mean, and intuitive parenting, you know, mom. Like, you can use the word mom. Like, it doesn't have to be. Play with it. This one's probably going to take the longest, just because we're never fully satisfied. Like, I'm not kidding you. I should go get my thing. There's 20, and I'm like, well, I like them all. And well, if I'm teaching this, I could say this. And there's going to be different times you're going to be using different words. Like, if I'm teaching gut health, I'm probably not going to be using money energy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so just really tap into that. Intuition has a place in this. You're right. Yep. Yes, it really does. That's literally everything. Oh, I love it. Especially when it comes to parenting. You just have to know how to tap into that, or else you go nuts. So what would I do without you, Sammy? I say parent-child relationship mentor. Yeah, so, and here's what I would say. And also, it's just very long. Like, think about when you're walking up to someone, oh, I'm a parent-child relationship mentor. Now, you know, you could say, like, you can just really dive into, if you want the relationship part of it. Here's what I think, and I've learned that I do. We feel like our title has to explain everything that we do. But actually, if you can get really unique with it, but very, very simple, people actually will ask questions. What's a money energy expert? You know what I mean? Oh, you know what I mean? It gets people to start thinking, oh, what's an intuitive parenting mentor? Or, not saying you have to use that, but it's like, when you start to think, oh, what is that? It's kind of unique, but unique was one of my words. So that's what I want people to think about me, is unique. People think you're trying to judge me. I don't think people think that. I think you think people are trying to think that, because because I understand the level of mentorship, I don't think that. I would think everybody needs a parenting mentor. Like, it's crucial. I would die without Sammy Bell. Like, I would die without boxer support when my child's having like a meltdown, or, you know, all these things. My husband, it's like, has changed massively within just being able to talk to you. And so he understands the benefit of a parenting mentor. And so But if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. But don't ever choose a name based off what you think other people are going to tell you. Because people are coming to your group to get mentoring, to get help, to get coaching. So really start to think, is you, and sure, I love that. So even sure parenting coach, you know, people are gonna be like, oh, what's that? You know what I mean? And so it's like, just really, really think about that as you guys go through this. But it doesn't have to be figured out today. This actually should probably take you, this took me probably about 2 weeks to do, because I did 20 of them. And then finally, so I have it listed as what are my 20, how do I want them tweaked, and then I have a final. What is my final that I'm going to say? But you give yourself permission that you can always change it if you want to. So is that most accurate? Because I do want to add intuitive, because number one rule is trust your gut. Yes, absolutely. Unless you want to beat your kids or something. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go into is your tagline or your slogan. So everybody needs this, and I'll be 100% honest with you, I haven't really nailed down what I love, so I just kind of picked one that resonated the most with me. And you guys, actually, hold on one second. Like, I just want to show you how random mine were as I was processing through this, and I still haven't found a favorite, but I've just kind of picked one that I wanted that's the best until it hits. But you think about Nike, okay, just do it. You think about all these things, even my coach, like his thing is next gen coaching. Like, and so it's like you have to think about, people need to recognize you for this thing. You're going to have multiple slogans, multiple sayings, but people have to, and remember, it has to be simple that a 6-year-old could understand it. And so like I went through everything. I was like, I didn't even know where to start. I was like, law of attraction plus law of action. Like I just started saying stuff, you know, don't let money rule your intuition, intuition over money, logic, energy, strategy, be the queen of your money. Like I like literally let all of the like stupid answers come out of you first. And then as you get down, you're going to start getting to the ones that you want. Like I really actually like this one, turning high performance actions into high performance results. You know, you start to get there. Money either controls or gets controlled. I started to get to ones I was like, ooh, I kind of like that. And I haven't found like the exact one that resonates, but I kind of just picked one that I could go with, because you really want to make sure that people remember you, and they're going to remember you by, when I did gut health, the poop whisperer. Like that could be my slogan, like the poop whisperer, and people remember it, and people, you know, really dive in and embrace it. And so just know that that's like the child whisperer, like people remember the child whisperer, the dog whisperer, you know, all these things, like people remember that. And so just keep that in mind. Yes, raising exceptional kids in a mediocre world. Yes, keep that. I've always loved it. Choose it, create it, repeat. I love that. Oh, love it. But yes, raising exceptional kids in a mediocre world. That is yours. Don't change it. You're really good with a slogan. The rest of us may struggle a little bit if we don't know ours, but that's okay. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to give you like 3 minutes to just kind of write a list and kind of brainstorm right now. But like I said, you're probably going to have to come back to it. But I'm going to just give you like 3 minutes. If you guys have questions, brainstorming, need help, you can unmute yourself, you can chat, whatever you want. So so it's not that you should have more than one, you probably will have more than one. As you start to grow, you're going to have lots of little sayings that people remember. So like for me, people remember like anything that when I talk about sabotage, my physical, mental, or my mental, physical, and social, like, you know what I mean? Not that that's a slogan really, but it's people are going to start remembering things about you, and be okay with that. So, but you're going to always have one core one. So your one core one is raising exceptional kids in a mediocre world. I need to figure out how real estate and my current stuff is going to mesh together. I don't think they will, honestly. They could essentially, but I think you're throwing I think it's two separate businesses, two completely separate businesses. Now, here's the thing. They can funnel into each other, but I don't think they're going to be the same business. So for example, as you start working with parents, or moms and creating these badass moms, which is another slogan of yours, badass moms, like as you're creating these badass moms, now they're going to have motivation to want to create money, which then could lead into real estate, or your oils business or anything like that. But I think this is going to be kind of what you have with your husband over here, and this is going to be your own business over here. So the goal would be eventually, how do you automate this so you can continue to grow this? Or how do you create the money over here so this can keep feeding this? So it's like they're going to feed each other, but I think they're going to be completely different. Helping families legalize the potential for their children through home ownership. Yep, I love that. Love it, love it. So it could still be the same theme, but it's going to be two totally different things.
Yeah, Kristen, I don't know that it would be necessarily a good fit for you because it's basically what you do. One second. But the lady who runs Mom Nation, which is sort of like mom networking groups essentially, like across the country, she's also a realtor, and like the Mom Nation stuff funnels into her real estate, but she doesn't really try to combine them. Like they are two separate things. So I agree with what Nicole is saying.
Yeah, I think you can always make anything work, but you're stretching it. Go ahead, Kristen.
I was just going to say, I've never heard of her, so I will have to look that up. That is so interesting. Thanks, Sammy.
Yeah.
No problem. We're friends now, so I can tag you on something connected when I get on the computer.
Yes, I love it. Love it, love it. And you guys should be connected anyways, because you guys do like the same thing but opposite things, but same categories. So you guys need to do a class together. It would be awesome. I love connections.
Ooh, I love doing a class together. That sounds like a great idea. I do really well bouncing off of another person. I had never thought about doing a joint class. What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
That would be so cool. And yes, Nicole, Sammy and I have connected thanks to you. And I bought her book, so I'm really excited to read it. And just following her, everything is so in line.
Yeah.
Super excited. So thanks, Nicole.
Yeah, and I love it. And that's the thing.
Thank you, Nicole.
As you start to connect and as you start to mesh things, like this is how people grow. And this is what I love, because you have people like, I'd say, all three of you actually, but if we're talking about the two of you, you're both so kind and you don't have that competitive energy, but you guys honestly could help each other so much, because okay, Sammy has a really big group, but Kristen has paid group members that her people pay money like all the time. And so it's like, as you go be a guest speaker in her group and then you go speak in her group, or you know what I mean, you're going to start to mesh, and you're not actually competition because you guys have two totally different products and services. And so this is when people are asking, how do you collaborate? This is the ideal collaboration. You're finding somebody with the exact same audience that actually you kind of are giving more value to your audience by bringing these people in. But at the same time, because I know Sammy's starting a podcast too, but at the same time, it's like you're not competing against each other. If anything, you can create packages together. That's kind of the new thing that I think is happening in 2020. And that's what happened with the last event I co-hosted with. And I know we're going on a side tangent here, but I think it's important, is instead of all these different speakers selling differently, they had one super cheap package, which ended up being like $400. They got a session with Travis. They got a session with Maddie. They got a session with the website guy. They got a session with me, and they got a session with somebody else. I can't remember. Plus they got tickets to this other event. Plus they got all these things for literally $400. So then what happens is these people come in, and now you do your calls, and you see the people that are a good fit for you will buy from you. The people that are a good fit for the other people will buy from them. And so then your whole event's not a big spammy event, and you're not like preaching all the time. It's literally everyone's together as one business right now. We're collaborating. Yeah, we each made like maybe $500 off of that thing, but it wasn't really about that. It was how do you get people into your funnel. But we created massive value with everybody that does similar things but opposite services. So that's really what it comes down to, which is actually, I should write that down when people are like, what's a good collaboration? Similar interests, similar topics, opposite services. Somebody write that down so I don't forget and send it to me in Messenger. But I love that. So now that you guys have kind of been working, hopefully, on your slogan or tagline, if not, you can go back to it. Once again, same thing. You're going to choose 5 or 20 or whatever you want, and then you're going to just pick a final one. And this is all going to come together, and I'll show you how it comes together. But yes, so now we're going to go into your purpose. Really, what is your divine purpose here on earth? So for me, I started with one. I was like, to help women, see, this is where I went. And I went through to like 20 of them. But it was like, to help women find power with money by helping women uncover their value. And I was like, that's weird. But I just kept going with it because more kept coming out of me. And I was like, ooh, to help women heal their relationship with money by helping them hear what God has in store for them. Boom. You know what I mean? And then that's my purpose and my why. That's not what I do, if that makes sense. Because you're going to see how it all ties together. That's my purpose, is to literally help women with their relationship with money by helping them tap into their intuition, tap into God, for really what they're supposed to be doing, for what God's telling them to do, whether it's in their parenting, whether it's in their business, whether it's in whatever it is. It's just literally not putting a price tag on that intuition. And so that's, yeah. So you guys can kind of write out, once again, 5 different things. I'll give you a few minutes. Also, if you guys need to chat about anything again, we can have a discussion. I feel like I want to watch this training monthly. I could just send you the direct YouTube link too. And it really is. This is why doing your business audit that you have in your binder, like literally that's why I created it, is because it's like you should be doing it at least quarterly. Because here's why. I used to get so mad. I'm like, I would hire a coach and it's like, first thing we'd go over is vision. And then we'd go over, who's your ideal client? I was like, this is stupid. I've done this a million times. And it never really clicked to me, but I'm like, I may have done it a million times, but I haven't really redone it a million times. And what starts to happen is you start getting on this rat race, which happened to me in 2018, where yeah, I'm having success, all these great things are happening, but I wasn't really happy, and I wasn't really working towards what my God-given purpose was. I was working towards what I was good at. I was working towards what was fun in that moment, but everything in my life was falling apart. My kids were missing me. Like, I was just working too many hours. And I literally was like, when was the time that I was the happiest? And it's when I simplified, which is why my word was like detox and simplify, because I was already actually creating the same exact amount of money. It's just, I felt like I had more success due to the connections and all the things I was doing at once. But in all reality, I was making the exact same amount of money. I just now helped another business create that same amount of money, but I wasn't actually making any money from it. And so it's like, you've got to really start to think about, a lot of times we chase things due to our insecurities. And we think we have to work harder. We think we have to add this thing or hire this thing or do this or do that or do that. And it's like, no, I have my things. I will always have a personal coach. I will always be a part of some sort of group program. And that's not an always, actually. That's just if it feels right. And then I will always, I don't want to work more than 4 hours a day, unless something's coming up that I really have to dive into, but I'm not working more than 4 hours a day. And yeah, I'm spending the weekends with my family. And that's really what it comes down to. So to help moms heal their triggers so they can feel sure about their parenting or can trust their intuitive parenting approach. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I would almost just keep it to that, like, one sentence: to help moms heal their triggers so they can feel sure about their parenting. Boom. Super simple.
Okay. That's what I've been playing with things. And one of the things I keep coming back to is that moms deserve to feel sure of themselves. Like, yes, SURE is an acronym and it stands for these 4 important pillars. But that's kind of the basis of it. Like, that's why SURE parenting exists, is because the other parenting stuff that I was diving into when I was trying to fix myself was it felt very mom shaming. It was like, this is how you should be, this is what you should do, and if you don't, there's something wrong with you. But there was no like actually embracing the differences of different moms and how those could actually be beneficial. And that killed me inside, because I just saw moms like hurting so badly and wanting to do this quote unquote right thing, but like the way it was presented was impossible for everybody to achieve. Something like, you know, your kid should never cry. Like, that's not human.
Mm-hmm.
Like, tears are healing. They literally contain stress hormones and they pull stress out of your body. How can we tell moms that they're not gentle parents if their kid ever cries? Like, that's crazy. But that's genuinely what is happening in some of these bigger, like, you know, 50,000 member groups.
Mm-hmm.
And it just was breaking my heart. And so I created Share Parenting because I wanted something different, and I really wanted to support moms and kids. And this year I keep coming back to, like, every mom deserves to feel sure of herself.
And I love that. I think that should be your slogan.
Okay.
Because, you know what I mean? Because, or one of them at least, because then it's like, it's just, it explains everything to a T. It comes down to your core mission. And then you have your, okay, what is your purpose? Your purpose is to help moms heal their triggers so that they can feel sure about their parenting. It's still kind of the same thing. It doesn't have to be super fancy, like just super short and sweet, because people understand that at a level, you know. But then when you start into so that, so they can trust their intuitive parenting approach, then people start getting lost at that point. You know what I mean? Because they're like, I don't know what that means. Do I have an intuition? I don't know, you know? And so
that's true, because I didn't think I had an intuition for the first like 3 years of parenting.
Exactly. So I love that. Okay. So you're going to do the same thing till you get to your final one. Then we're going to get down to the way. How are you doing it? So what's going to make you better than any other parenting group? What's going to make you better than any other person that sells oils? What's going to make you better than, you know what I mean? All these different things. It's going to be, so for me, I help women rewire their brain and create strategies to implement their unique gifts. I'm still tweaking on the last part. I don't like the unique gifts part, but it's like, and then do you see how I took the word unique because it was one of my other words? But that's the way I do it, is I help women rewire their brain and create strategies to implement their unique gifts. That's totally going to change, just so you know.
But this is for business coaching, right?
So I'm going to try to get to, so here was actually my final one that I put, but I'm not sure, is I help women connect spiritually to money so that they can manifest and create more in their life. See how much more simple that is?
I was just wondering if you had the first one and instead of saying implement, you said monetize. Like if they can monetize their unique gifts, because that's really what you've helped me do, is like, what's special about you? How do you turn that into money?
Absolutely. And so, and that's where I'm getting at is okay, I have this sales stuff, but then I have this money stuff. But I actually think I'm going to go more the money energy route again. And then, like I said, all my one-on-ones will know that I do more of like sales, social media type stuff. But I'm back to a point where I have too much I'm teaching and I need to reel it back in again. And so, so just always think about that. When you start adding more to your plate, you're like, okay, yes, I could do all of this, but that doesn't mean I should be doing all this. What's the one thing people love about me? And it's money energy. And sometimes I'm like, but I want to teach this stuff I'm learning right now. But that's a lie. And here's why, what I will tell you is because when you're trying to transform people's lives, you have to teach through your journey. And you can't now say I was a bodybuilder and say, okay, maybe not. Say I lost 100 pounds. Okay, I lost 100 pounds and I did it literally through maybe just walking around the block, literally just walking around the block. And I just started there. But then later in life, I'm now selling people that to lose 100 pounds, you have to walk around the block. You have to have this diet. You have to take this supplement. You have to do X, Y, Z. I'm lying to them. It's not really what they need to lose 100 pounds. They literally just have to get off their butt and walk around the block, if that was my story. And so what we start to get into is, yes, you have education that you can teach people. And that's where you get into like your deeper level stuff of like, this is what I'm learning now and this is what's here. But what you're monetizing, what you're selling to people is your journey. And I think I see people do this a lot. They'll take my courses, or we all do it actually. And then they start teaching other people's content, thinking that it's better than what their actual journey was. But what makes you unique is your own journey, your own story, your own thing. And so how do you keep yourself aware of teaching your journey and not what you're learning now? That's why these things, writing down what was my journey, that timeline, that when, you know, the Post-it note thing, here's where I was, here's the first, so I write it all on a timeline. Here's where I was, here's the first thing that happened to me. My son got sick and I had to make a change diet-wise first. Okay, awesome. Then from there, this is what I did. Okay, then my marriage was falling apart and I'm like, we just have to attend some sort of event because marriage counseling sucks. And then it's like, and then in between I wrote down what were the tools I learned within that. But here's the thing, until you're working with people that are up your timeline, you shouldn't even be teaching this stuff till they're there yet. But what starts to happen is, okay, maybe people start teaching, like the very first thing is always for me, usually mindset or vision boards or black journaling or all those things or whatever. It's like, those were the things I learned that changed my life. Those were the things that tripled my income. I didn't have to have squat for business strategy. I ran Creating Healthy Babies for 5 years without any strategy, without anything, with just a put together Fiverr website, like a logo that cost me like $10, like nothing. That's what actually how I learned to grow a business, was sharing my story, writing a blog post, doing these things. And so now it's like, okay, yes, I'm smart. I know this NLP stuff. I know this. But until people are up to this level, I'm giving them stuff they don't actually need. It's a lie. And so you have to really, really, really remember that. Funny, because I've been thinking I need to revisit my notes from years ago. This is so on point. Yes, it is. That's why I'm like, it's so on point for everybody right now, even in me. This is why I sit down and I revisit everything, even if it seems like the simple stuff again. But your ideal client that you're talking to is probably not really where your ideal client actually is. And I know I've really stepped into that. And there's going to be people. It's like, okay, when someone first started working with me, they love me for money energy. You know, for example, like Sammy Bell and all this stuff. She started taking Meet Your Destiny, Finance Your Destiny, all these things. I don't even have Meet Your Destiny anymore, which means I should probably create it again. But it's like,
yes, you should. How do you not have Meet Your Destiny anymore?
I don't, and I don't do my free emotional cycles class anymore, and I don't do my 5-day money energy challenges again. And that's how I first started creating $10,000 months. And that's all I needed. But I felt like I got to create new content. I got to create this, because people were growing with me, and I kept focusing on the people growing with me and left these people that are actually my ideal people behind, because I didn't want to lose these people. You need to be okay.
This is true.
Out. You need to be
it's
okay
true. I think maybe what would help me is, because like I created Turning Off the Anger Switch, and every time I reopen it, it's a huge success that helps so many people. And then I personally feel like I'm done with it, so I don't run it again for like a year. And it's stupid, because there's still so many people who are like, dude, I want to quit screaming at my kids every single day. Like, that is the basis. That's where so many people start out when they want to do something about their parenting. They're not ready for all of this, like, you know, brain psychology, like, which is, you know, what's so fascinating to me. But this is
where it comes down to. This is why this stuff needs to be automated, because we stopped teaching it because we're bored of it. So then that's why I haven't done Financial Destiny as much as I have, or I don't do Meet Your Destiny, because it's just so simple stuff. I don't love it anymore. But if I automated it, now here's the thing. My personal clients, where I should be spending majority of my time, because that's what I love, I can teach them sales strategy.
Everything,
everything where they're at, because then I grow with them on a personal journey. And now my audience isn't confused. Make sense?
I don't know if you know about, I'm sure you do, but I started using Thinkific. And so I have like Sure Parenting Academy, and I have Turning Off the Anger Switch now is a class in there, and I can open it and enroll people like at any time. And so I am super stoked about it. My next step is to put Bridge the Great Divide, because that was the next thing I did. Is I did this anger class, and then there was so many people that were like, okay, but what about my husband? Like, how do I fix him? And so I did this next class, and it was very successful, and it helped people tremendously. Like, it literally saved this woman's marriage. She started the class with like, I don't even know why I'm here because I'm just going to divorce him. Like, I hate him. And by the end of the class, she was, which is only 4 weeks, she was like, he told me he loved me. He hasn't said that in 8 years. And it was like, I still like want to cry because it was so powerful. And then because I did it in Facebook and it was just live videos, I like decided it wasn't good enough or something and just let it go. And I never did it again. How stupid is that?
No, I agree 110%. Oh, I agree. That's why we're talking about this, because I've been there. Like, we totally get it. And it's just, I even tried to redo Financial Destiny last year and I just didn't like it. I just need to go back to my old crappy recordings, be okay with it, and let people just roll with it, because that's where I was at in that moment. It could help people. And now if I go back to try to teach it, I have a different perspective on it. And so the longer you wait to automate things, the crappier your content gets, honestly. And so, okay, I have 10 minutes, so we're going to get through the last of this. So transformation is the next one. You've got to think big too, but what are the measurable results that people are going to get? So for example, like I just wrote down one is, I help women understand their money energy and understand their repetitive cycles with money to be able to manifest and create an easy 10K month. Boom. Like this is where you're almost bringing everything together. Here's what here's where they're at. Here's what I'm teaching them. Here's kind of where they're at. They're in cycles. And then it's like, I'm teaching them to manifest and create. Because I believe in the law of attraction and the law of action to create an easy 10K month. It needs to be very measurable results, or it has to be an internal change. You know what I mean? So just think of it as a measurable physical result or an internal change, but how are you going to showcase that? So instead of just like, I help people be happy, or I help parents be happy, or I help parents, I help parents not fight anymore. And I like to go more of the motivational route of like what they're, they get to sit at the dinner table eating in peace, or, something like that. But it's like, figure out the transformation there. I'm going to let you guys kind of work on that when you're on your own, so I can kind of get through the rest of this. But once again, you're going to rewrite that 5 times until you get to your final one. But this is going to be your transformation. Take the results, that you've had, like the divorcing, like, I help women understand or be sure about their parenting, and then figure out that result. Is the result you want to showcase about marriages? Because that's usually where the problem comes from. Or does the result come from, my child's better because they think the child's the issue? So always just think about, what is that measurable result? What I had to do is I had to actually go make a list of like 50 testimonial results that I've had. And then I chose the one that resonated with me, because I've helped people create millions, but I don't feel like my audience is going to relate to that. I feel like 10K, that's easy, but at the same time, like, it's so hard for me because my results are so big. Like, people get 10K, 20K, like 50K, $5 million ranch, whatever it is. But this is what I'm working on. I need to feel confident of just sharing that. But if I go back to where my ideal client is, I don't think they can resonate with that. So I'm like, okay, easy 10K months, like boom, super simple, because they don't even know how they're going to get to 5K months. And so just keep that in mind. But maybe write down your measurable results that people have had. So what's your formula for asking someone for a video testimonial? I literally just say, hey, would you be willing to do a video testimonial for me? And if they say, yeah, I'm like, awesome. Can I have it by Friday? Boom. Most people will really just say yes. That's what I would say. And then I would say, or I trade it for people. Hey, I'll give you a deal on this class if you'll do a testimonial video for me at the end. Boom. So I always just do stuff like that. The key is asking before people end. If you notice, when I asked you guys for your testimonial videos for personal coaching, it was not at the end of coaching. It's while they're in the middle of it, because it's just, then they're not kind of done with you and they're not moved on to something else. They're still focused and thinking about you. And then I tell them exactly what to say. Here's how to write it. Here's how I think a good, if you don't know, if you need some advice, Just state where you were before, state, you know, your measurable result. Here's some examples. And I can send you actually like a clip of what I would say. You could just tweak it to your business. So I'll think about that. I'd say under a minute is probably good, unless you want a longer testimonial, 3 minutes, but 1 minute is perfect. So I love it. And then, so now you're going to go into, this one's going to take you a little bit longer too. But this one can just kind of be homework for yourself, is who are you working with? And this is the way that I learned it, that I like to do it, is number one, who's going to feed your family for a week? So think of the programs that you have, like, okay, Finance Your Destiny. Okay. That ideal client will feed my family for a week, you know. Then you're going to think about who's going to feed your family for a month, and then who's going to feed your family for a year. And I actually specifically put names down, which is funny. Like one of them was Jenna, one of them was Kristen, and then I can't remember, I think another one was another client I had. But it's like, I actually put people I can resonate with, and then I say everything about them. I say, okay, what's their name? Where do they live? What's their age, you know, limit? What are their fears? What do they love? And I don't mean like where do they like to shop and blah, blah, blah. But what's their love? Like, what's their core divine love? Like, is it their family? Is it their, you know, is it their, I don't know, I dove way into this, but it's like, what is it they're afraid of? Are they afraid of failure? Are they afraid of, you know, being a bad mom? Are they afraid of, remember, it doesn't have to be overly complicated. And I think that's the thing that why business owners don't do so well, is we start to overcomplicate words to sound smarter for our own ego. Keep it super simple, but still be unique. You know what I mean? But it's like, what are their wants? What do they want to have? Like, and all those things. And then I like to put in, okay, what product is going to go for that specific person? Like, so what is the products that's going to really be for that specific person when you start to write about them? So, and which leads into the last thing. So that one's going to take a while too. Sorry, I'm skimming through this just so we get done in time. But products is, what products are you going to sell this year? And what ones are you going to remove? Which ones are you going to bring back? What are the prices going to be for each? Because I see a lot of people go into 2020 and they know they want to raise their prices. They know they want to do these things, but it's not all set in stone. Like I used to be where like my Black Friday deals, it's like, oh my gosh, like I would forget to change them for like 2 weeks on my website. This year it only took me, I think, 2 days. But that's good for me. And so it's like, that's what I'm really working on, is making sure I change things immediately. So it's like, if any of my prices are raising, okay, awesome. Starting the next person that wants to buy from me, this is the price for that. And so start really, really looking into that, of like what that's going to look like. That's what I've been working with a lot on with my clients this week, is like, okay, what is it that your packages are going to be? How are we tying it all together? And what are your new prices starting now, if you're wanting to raise prices? So you need to go through all of your packages. Do I want to add any bonuses? Do I want to add, we all know you should have at least 3 packages. So it's like, what do those 3 packages entail? How can you add value? What sucked about that? Like, were you like, oh my gosh, that was too much Voxer support. Maybe I should not do that anymore. Okay, maybe I don't want to add those classes in, like, you know, maybe I do. Like, so start to think about that as you think about your products. And then you're going to tie everything together. So I hope this was beneficial for you guys. We have like 5 minutes if you do have questions. But I want you to really dive in even deeper, because like I said, this took me 2 weeks. And so we can only get so much done in an hour, and I did 20 of everything. But I think if you can get so super clear before 2020 hits, you're going to really dive in to 2020 and just know exactly who you're selling to, exactly what you're selling for, how much. When people ask you what you do, you say one quick sentence and they'll ask the questions next, because that's the key. Is when you start to, like when I say, oh, I'm a money energy expert, what is that? Blah, blah. You know, we were just playing poker at a friend's house the other weekend, and there was a guy there. I think I need to hire your wife. And I'm like, I didn't even know this guy was following me. Well, I actually always attract guys, but I have this thing with working with guys, which I probably need to work through, because I probably have a bigger business, but my heart is just towards women. And so remember, okay, what is your boundary? You know, I've started to let men into my community group but I don't really take men on as clients unless I really connect with them. They have a high feminine energy, then I can work with them. Like my husband has a very high feminine energy. You know what I mean? If he wasn't my husband, I could work with him. And so really start to think about that so you know your boundaries. And then really, like I said, with that personal and business stuff, you've got to figure out what is your fine lines. What are you willing to sacrifice? Because business is obviously a sacrifice. It takes time. It takes time away from your family. It takes time away from, but it doesn't have to. So you have to realize, what am I willing to sacrifice and what am I no longer willing to sacrifice? Usually it's time, money, and people is really what it is. And how much are you willing to give, and what are those fine line boundaries so you don't get walked all over, so you don't suck up every opportunity, because as we start to grow, opportunities start to swarm us and we get excited because we have high energy in that moment, and then we're like, holy poop, what did I just do? I didn't want to take all of that on. I've been really careful. I've spoke on a very few podcasts. I've chosen to not speak on any stages if people have asked me, unless it really, really aligns with me. Usually if I'm co-hosting, I will. And I'm just going to do my own event. And I even decided to do it in my hometown, which is a really big risk because it's probably not going to be very big and fancy. And man, I got to put my ego down for that because I live in the country. But I just decided I miss that in-person interaction. I don't care if 5 people are there or 10 people are there or 50 people are there. I will show up at 100% because I'm happy doing it. Versus, yeah, I can look good, have hundreds of people there, but it doesn't make me happy. You know what I mean? Because the time it takes to get there isn't worth it for me at this point in my life, probably because I'm a pregnant mom. So, any questions? Okay. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you guys need help with this, let me know. This was awesome. Cool. This is what you do, Kristen. You say, Kristen, if it was so awesome, would you please go do a live video or go post an awesome post about it and share what you learned, what you liked, your favorite 3 things you learned, whatever it is, and tag me. Boom.
You're amazing, Nicole. I heart you.
Okay. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.